If you've lived in Los Angeles long enough, you know one rule everyone learns sooner or later. You don't stay at the Cecil Hotel. Locals don't even joke about it. Uber drivers lower their voices when they pass it. LAPD officers call it by its old nickname, the suicide. But in 2018, I was broke, stubborn, and didn't believe in haunted buildings. That was my mistake. The reason I stayed. I had just landed in LA with 2 suitcases, a half-dead phone, and no job lined up. Airbnb prices were insane. Hostels were full. Then I saw it. Cecil Hotel, $39 a night, downtown. Private room, no deposit. I knew the name. Everyone does. Serial killers stayed there. People jumped from the windows. That girl, Elisa Lamb, vanished inside the building. But desperation makes you stupid. I checked in anyway. The man behind the front desk didn't smile. He slid the room key toward me without eye contact. "You staying long?" he asked. "Couple nights," I said. He paused. Just a second too long. "Don't go on the roof," he said flatly. Then quieter. "And if you hear knocking, don't answer." I laughed, trying to break the tension. He didn't. First night. Something was off. The hallway on my floor smelled old. Not dirty, old. Like damp carpet and metal. The lights flickered in that slow, tired way, like the building itself was breathing. Room 521. The door creaked open. The room was small, beige walls, a bed pushed against the corner, one window facing another brick wall across an alley. Nothing scary, and somehow that made it worse. That night, I woke up at 2:58 a.m. to a sound I can still hear perfectly. Knocking. 3 slow knocks from inside the wall. Not the door, the wall behind my bed. I froze. The knocks came again. Same rhythm. Knock, knock, knock. I held my breath, remembering the front desk guy's words. Don't answer. So I didn't. After a minute, the knocking stopped, but something else replaced it. A whisper, so faint it sounded like it was inside my head. Wrong room. The elevator problem. The next morning, I asked another guest if they'd heard knocking. He stared at me like I'd just admitted to a crime. "People don't knock here," he said. "They wait." I laughed it off and headed for the elevator. It stopped on every floor going down. No one got on. When I finally reached the lobby, the desk clerk looked annoyed. "Did you press all the buttons?" he asked. I shook my head. He sighed. "It does that when someone's walking the halls." "But nobody was there," I said. He finally looked at me directly. "Exactly." The name in the register. That afternoon, curiosity got the better of me. I looked up old records, suicides, murders, disappearances. The Cecil wasn't just unlucky, it was consistent. Same floors, same rooms, including 521. Dozens of deaths, most listed as jumpers. But one detail kept repeating. Witnesses reported knocking sounds hours before the deaths. always 3 knocks. That night, I went to sleep with the lights on. Second night, the guest who wasn't there. At 2:58 a.m., the knocking came again, this time from the door. 3 slow knocks. I stared at the handle. A woman spoke from the hallway, soft, calm, too calm. Housekeeping at 3 in the morning. I stayed silent. The handle turned anyway, just a little. Then the whisper returned, right behind my ear. "You're in my room." I jumped out of bed and slammed the bathroom door, locking myself inside. I stayed there until morning. When I opened the door, the main room looked wrong. The bed was neatly made. My suitcase was open, and written on the foggy window with a finger, "Checkout is at 3. The hotel's secret rule. I confronted the front desk. The clerk didn't argue. He just pulled out a thick, worn ledger. He flipped it open and pointed. My name was written there, not in ink, scratched deep into the paper. Below it were dozens of other names, some crossed out, some circled. Mine had a small mark beside it. "What does that mean?" I asked. He swallowed. "That means the building noticed you." I demanded another room. He shook his head. "It doesn't work like that." The truth about the Cecil. That night, someone finally told me the truth. An elderly woman on the smoking balcony leaned close and whispered, "The Cecil doesn't kill people. It convinces them to stay." She told me the hotel was built wrong. Something about underground tunnels, old oil tanks, missing records. People didn't die there by accident. They were claimed. The knocking wasn't a warning. It was a test. If you answered, you didn't leave. Stay tuned for part 2.